Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Well, getting a little bit more definition as to when the United Kingdom plans to invoke so-called Article 50. The new UK Prime Minister Theresa May was visiting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel yesterday, and she said that Britain will not begin official negotiations on leaving the EU this year. She said that she needs to secure a sensible and orderly departure from the European Union, which will take time. She also insisted that Britain would, quote, not walk away from Europe and wanted to retain the closest economic links. Ms. Merkel said that the two sides desired to get the best result for Britain, but also urged more clarity on the timing. Ms. May said that the UK was in no rush to trigger the two-year process of leaving the EU, telling reporters that although this would not please everyone, it was right to hold off until the UK's objectives were clear. Very quickly, French President François Hollande and Irish Prime Minister Kenny blasted Ms. May's comments, saying this was unacceptable, and in fact the timetable had to be moved up because of the uncertainty which overhangs the entire EU. The American insurer Travelers reported a slight bounce back in U.S. property and casualty premium rates just about an hour ago, as higher than expected catastrophe losses drove down its operating income by about 20%. Travelers, which is seen as a bellwether for the wider U.S. commercial insurance market, saw its key rating indexes edge back into positive territory in the second quarter, with renewal increases showing about an increase of 0.2%. This was up from a decrease of 0.1% last quarter. It also released information indicating that it had suffered a 19% drop-off in second quarter operating income, down to about $649 million owing to higher cat losses, mainly the Fort McMurray wildfires. Aon Benfield, the broker, said that insured cat losses for the first 6 months of 2016 have reached $30 billion. This is the highest level since 2011. Economic losses, they said, are about $98 billion. The percentage of economic losses covered by insurance is about 30%, a little bit higher than the 10-year average of 28%. Aon said that that's because a high number of losses were coming from the United States, which is a heavily insured market. There's been another skyscraper fire in Dubai. By our count, this is the fifth such fire in recent years. Yesterday, firefighters put out a fire that broke out at a 75-story residential tower. This was in the Sulafa Tower in the Marina district of Dubai. According to TV images, it seems as if 10 to 15 floors appeared to have been charred. Burning debris floated down toward the ground. The fire was the latest in a litany of fires that have occurred. In March of this year, a fire broke out at a residential tower in the nearby emirate of Ajman. On New Year's Eve, of course, a blaze hit a downtown hotel in Dubai. In February of last year, a fire broke out at a 79-story tower in Dubai. And in November of 2012, a 34-story Dubai residential building was partially charred. In some of these cases, experts say the flames may have been encouraged to spread by flammable exterior cladding used for decoration or insulation. We've talked about this in the past. The United Arab Emirates has revised its building safety code to require that cladding on all new buildings over 15 meters be fire resistant, but older buildings are exempt. Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak is facing internal pressure as well as international pressure now amid American allegations of massive fraud at the State Investment Fund, 1MDB. The fund was set up by Najib in 2009 with the goal of boosting the Malay economy. Yesterday, American Attorney General Loretta Lynch said evidence showed it had defrauded Malaysians on an enormous scale. Najib is not named in papers released by the Justice Department, and he's consistently denied wrongdoing, but he is identified as Malaysian official number one, whose account allegedly received millions in funds originating from the investment fund. American authorities moved yesterday to seize more than $1 billion in assets related to the fund. Authorities in Singapore this morning indicated that three banks in Singapore apparently had undergone significant lapses in anti-money laundering controls in helping the embezzlement or corruption occur. They identified local lender bank DBS Bank, Standard Chartered, and Union Bank of Switzerland for lapses and weaknesses in controls in connection with the corruption with the 1MDB fund. Spain is seeking an urgent explanation from the British Navy after a Royal Navy submarine was forced into port in Gibraltar following a collision with a merchant vessel. The Spanish are seeking all information regarding the damage done to the sub and how the prior day's incident occurred. The submarine was a nuclear-powered submarine, the HMS Ambush, that was not damaged in the incident. It's an Astute-class submarine. It's not a ballistic missile launcher, but it does in fact have ship-to-ship torpedoes as well as Tomahawk missiles. A photograph of the sub in port showed some damage to the conning tower. The Spanish ministry said that the government had been aware that the submarine was in the area. And although the Northern Hemisphere is experiencing a significant heat wave, both in Europe and in the United States now, it's good to remember that it's freezing cold in the Southern Hemisphere. And if you're a Peruvian alpaca farmer, you don't need to be reminded of it. You're already freezing. A state of emergency has been declared in the southern Peruvian Andes, where bitterly cold weather has killed, so far, about 50,000 alpacas and put about 300,000 camelids, which are South American camel-type animals, also called guanacos, under threat. Overnight temperatures there have dropped to about minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The cold has also caused about 14,000 children in the Andes region to develop respiratory illnesses, killing 105 of them. There's no relief to the cold temperatures in sight. The National Peruvian Weather Service is saying that snow will continue to fall in the highlands area for the foreseeable future. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.